Welcome everybody to my show, Making an Impact with Your Brand. It's Zahrina Robertson here, and we are doing some hard-hitting interviews about branding and about making your personal brand having an impact for online, offline, and making an impact with other people. So today we have a fabulous, most beautiful, insightful lady called Mandy Holloway from Courageous Leaders. Welcome, Mandy.
Thank you, Zahrina. I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, look, I'm thrilled to have you. I find you absolutely an angel to listen to, watch, and to learn from. And you've got and being a courageous leader, you live and breathe this. Every time I see Mandy, she's living and breathing her get up and go. I love it. I think that's fantastic about your brand. You're very congruent, and when I see you and feel you, it's just wonderful. I love it. Tell me a bit about what makes courageous leaders, the values of, and your values mixed with your brand and making an impact. Tell me about that. That's really interesting.
I think it's really, really critical that you align your personal values, your organisational values with how you want the brand to be brought alive, so that it is authentic and congruent. Because otherwise, it doesn't match. So, our values are around being caring, being realistic, being authentic, and being practical. And I could probably say this to you because if you look at the CRAP, it was only afterwards.
Crap. We're okay. We'll have to say it. We're on YouTube.
And we thought, oh no. But actually, it's quite a good way of remembering your values. So it's about, every interaction. Am I being caring? Am I being realistic? Am I being authentic? If I'm feeling something and thinking something, then I need to say it and bring it alive.
Ah, that's a great acronym.
Acronym. It's not really though. But it is. Well, it is. It is a great acronym.
That. Hey, that's really cool. Crap. Nice one.
Yeah, it makes you remember your values. It does. And it was just by accident that we realised the acronym was that.
Oh, that's so special. I think that's something that people can learn. I mean, if the audience are looking to learn about, things that can make your brand better and make an impact. And what you're just saying is just perfect. So that's
I think it has to be something simple, something memorable, and particularly as your brand expands where you've got more people involved, which is exactly what was happening for us as we were getting more people involved in the business. We had to have these brand pillars so that basically if somebody was delivering a program and they were doing it under the Courageous Leaders brand, then we needed to have that brought alive so that it was consistent and we were being congruent with each other.
Wow. And so you've actually, this is an interesting point. If listeners are out there and they've got staff, let's tap into that a little bit with your brand pillars and about managing your stuff with your message of what you've created for Courageous Leaders. And
that's so important. So like we have an office manager who works 3 days a week with us, and she knows that every email she sends, every telephone call she answers, she needs to be caring. We need to be realistic. If we can't deliver on something or we can't, we need to say it. We need to be realistic, own our stuff. If something hasn't happened that we said was going to happen, then we own it. And being authentic, that who she is as a person exudes on the phone. She doesn't have to put on some facade when she picks up the phone. She needs to be Lynn. She needs to be quirky and fun and fun-loving and engaging because that's the kind of person she is. But at all times also being very practical. So making it easy for people, making it so that they can connect with us, and just in every interaction that she has, emails she sends out, phone calls.
How cool is that, right? So you guys, that's awesome, because if you've got a brand, you want to make an impact for your end client. It's not only you as a courageous leader, it's your staff that have to live the dream, and everybody around you. So this is so cool, because if you share that dream and your pillars and your beliefs, it just makes the world a better place for your business, and it also makes the people that are coming to you attracted to you for the right reasons. And I love that. I think that's really cool. And it's
consistency. They don't suddenly go, oh, I really like working with Mandy and it's been great, but I don't like phoning the office because it's not the same experience. And that's what or I like phoning the office because those people are pretty cool, but I don't like, vice versa. So it's very, very important. Yeah, I don't like the person who's heating it up.
Yes, and yeah, I'm sure we've all had experiences like this, you know.
Yeah, no, we have.
I tell you, this is what you teach, don't you?
Absolutely.
Oh
it is.
man, I tell you, you've got to tap into Mandy. I mean, she's the bomb. You know, yeah, and I reckon businesses of different levels definitely have to tap into what you've got. That's gold.
Well, I think, you know, one of the things I talk about is the absolute connection between brand and culture. So we talk about it being brand culture, because you can have everything you like on your website, you know, exuding out there on your collateral around your brand, and telling people about the brand. But you have to have people internally living it, and that's the culture. And so when the culture and the brand come together, that's when it's really, really powerful. But too many people put brand goes with marketing, and culture goes with HR, and they compete for budget, they compete for energy and attention, and they don't align. It doesn't work.
Oh my gosh, that was just
Was
gold.
that a pearl?
That was a pearl. That was awesome. That was just beautiful. I mean, that just makes so much sense, because, gosh, without that, there's integral parts to make it all, the whole big picture work together. It's got to cement. It's got to work.
It does.
That's just wonderful. Now, but what are the results? You know, what results has, you know, living your brand achieved for you personally, and living your brand achieved? I mean, and I can't see Mandy not living her brand all the way she is, because she's just so naturally like, and then, you know, like, you're just such a good, solid leader and a feminine leader. And that's what I love about her, because she's feminine and she's direct, but she's got it in a real cool, sexy way. She sort of lets you know about it.
To come and
And
talk
I just
with you
really
more.
cool. I know, I love it. I really love it. You've got a sexy, suave, smooth way of approaching things. And that's why I love it. But what is it that how you're, you know, living it, like, what you living a brand achieve? What's it achieve for you?
For us, what we know is that, and we've measured it, so we know that it's working, is that we get an enormous amount of referral work.
Wow.
So for me, you know, to walk in, so I had an experience just recently where there was a chap that I'd worked with in an organisation, so he'd participated in a leadership development program, and he had left and moved on somewhere else into a more senior position. And I'd kept contact with him, because that's what I do, LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff, and we chatted, and he was a really nice man, and we ended up talking, and he said, look, in the new business I'm in, I know that we need you. He said, but now's not the right time, and you need to trust me, and you need to trust that I'll let you know when is the right time. And we just kept having coffee. Now, it took 2.5 years, but that's where you're caring and you're realistic, you're practical, you know, all those kinds of things, because you know that this is not, when people decide to do leadership development, then, you know, it has to be the right time, because the brand and the culture needs to come together, and the leaders are the ones that are going to do that, right? And he introduced me, he talked about me to the CEO, and I went to a meeting with the CEO without that other chap, and he was already buying me, like, because of the trust and the relationship that I had with the other person. And that's what we're finding from the brand perspective, is that people love the brand, they love what we stand for, they trust us, and therefore at the right time they will refer us in, which is awesome.
You know, that comes down to every person is a lead cut. You know, like, it's a potential to be looked after and cherished, whoever comes across your brand in person. I think that's awesome, and it all pays off. It truly has. I like, for you, definitely, and I know for me in some ways as well, lots of ways. But for you, definitely, I think consistency is the message, right?
It does.
Consistency, and having the faith of being in contact with that person. 2 years you're in contact with that person.
Yep. And
you know, it's not patient. Like, you know, it's patient, but you valued that person. And I think that's really crucial. So I think that's very heartfelt. I think if you value the person that you know you can help, they see it, feel it, and then just comes back to you. Just like
it does. And I think if you can also have the courage. So recently I went to, I got introduced to another potential client, and they received some funding to deliver some training. And one of the things I said to them, and it would have been very easy for me to go in and say, yep, I can do a 2-day workshop for you, for 250 people, easy. And I said to them, if you want value for that funding, I want to explore different ways with you. I would like to use you guys to deliver the program. Let me design things. Let me design sustainable things that will happen throughout, over a period of 5 years. Because if you've got limited funding, a little sheep dip for 2 days isn't going to change the world the way you want to change it.
Yes.
Now, I could have just gone in and said, great, I can do it, walked away. And I know that they could have, in a year's time, gone, well, that didn't work. And I don't want to be aligned. I don't want my brand to be aligned with that sort of stuff. I want our brand to be real and to be aligned with sustainable change. And that sometimes means walking away from work because it's not the kind of work that's actually going to align with your brand. But people won't do that often. They're too scared to.
That's commitment, and the key thing here is longevity. If you want to put the hard yards into your personal brand and your business, and you're doing it, you need to make that commitment for longevity, putting the right things out there, the messages to your client. You're not, come by, what is that? Come by, yeah.
Wait, the sustain.
Like that, the saying.
Oh, the karma? Things come around.
Yeah, just not being there for the long haul, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're just going in for short-term returns.
Short-term, short-term gain.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Stutter out. Short-term gain, no way. To make an impact about your personal brand, you're there for the long run, your longevity. How much money do we, invest in our own selves and our brand to not reap the rewards if we're not making the commitment?
And it only takes one customer or client that has a bad experience with you, and particularly now with all the social media we have, to actually then go out and talk about it. So, it's about being conscious of every single experience you're creating. And, for us, my husband's in the business as well, and sometimes we go, oh, why did we call ourselves courageous leaders? Because, you actually have to hold the mirror up every day and go, what would be the courageous thing to do here? What's the courageous conversation to have? So if you don't want to do that, then don't call yourselves courageous leaders. We've been talking about maybe we should be easy rider leaders, something for a little while.
No, easy rider. Hell no.
So, and I think that's really important. That you've got to feel authentic and real and about what you're standing for, and your staff have got to do it too.
Oh, Mandy's extremely inspirational. I tell you, I could listen to her all day. Front row seat. Now, I've got there's one question that I'm really fascinated by for you, and it's like, you think this day and age we as personal brands are complicating our personal brand? Can you talk to me about how that is happening? How you think you're seeing this? Because this is interesting.
Yeah, I think it is very complicated. Much more so than in the past, because we've got Facebook. So even like for me, I look at the fact I've got a personal Facebook page and we've got our Courageous Leaders Facebook page. I've got a personal LinkedIn, we've got a company LinkedIn page. We've got collateral, we've got, a website, and you just go, and it all has to come together and be aligned, right? Yeah. And that's really complex, and I think a lot of people just play on all these different medias, and without thinking about, and we have very distinct conversations. What do we want Courageous Leaders Facebook? So our Facebook page is about being inspiring. We put inspiring photos of the northern beaches with some quotes, and that's where people go. Now on Twitter, we go there because we want to connect with people from an intellectual place and a courageous space around sharing stuff that's courageous and challenging people's courageous thought. On Twitter, 140 characters, you can imagine for someone like me, incredibly challenging, because I do like to talk like Zahrina. And then
I'm listening right now.
And then the LinkedIn page, it's like, well, what do we want that to stand for? Well, we want to provide challenging, thought-provoking articles, courageous articles that challenge people's thinking. It's interesting. We don't get the level of engagement from the perspective of people sharing their stories. They will send me personal emails rather, because it's still too scary to be transparent enough and courageous enough to own it in the social media space, which is fascinating.
Yes, so true.
Yeah.
So interesting.
So it's very complex, I think, because then you've also got your marketing collateral, you've got your photos, you've got your, so for me, I don't want to be airbrushed. I don't want to have any, because I have to be authentic. That's what because I can't walk in here looking all zhuzhed and blown up, and people go, that wasn't like your photo. Your photo, you looked amazing. You don't look like that now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
Gosh, so that's interesting. So I want to thank you. We have unpacked and unpacked like an onion. Oh, unpeeled like an onion.
Peeled, yes.
And I want to say I've had a great time today interviewing you, Mandy. I mean, you're one living, breathing, courageous lady, and I love you to bits. And I think I think today our audience has learned a lot. I really tapping into different people's skill sets. You're the bomb. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And I thank you everybody.
Yeah, thank you everybody.
And have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks.